Hey, Josh. Hello. Hi, Ryan. Welcome, welcome.
Miss Paige, I'm evil. I gave my dog a strawberry but kicked it underneath the chair. Now he's trying to get it.
Oh, no.
He's a puppy, so he needs to learn. Milo, you cannot crawl underneath the table.
Oh, no, bud. Hello. Hi, Aura.
Why does it say this is recording?
Oh, so today Mrs. Hunter is going to record me for my professor to evaluate me. So if you want, or if you were worried, don't worry about it. It's just going to be showing me, it doesn't show you. But that was a part of my reminders. I was going to let you guys know in a minute, but now you know. So it's going to be recording me, not you. Okay.
Where'd he go?
Kenzie. Okay, I think I'm just gonna get started. So today your Ricky Tikki Tavi Think questions and writing prompts are due. So if you haven't gotten that done, get that in by the end of the day. Also, I sent out an email last week for they're like permission slips. So your parents could sign off if it's okay to have you in my recording for when I record. I think it's week 7, so that's the week of the 15th. So if you could remind them and let them know to respond to that, I'd really appreciate that. So with that said, we're gonna start a new reading. It's called Barrio Boy. We're gonna go over the introduction and we're gonna do some annotations together. If you could grab out your planners, and we're gonna write in what's gonna be due by Thursday. We're gonna get done a summary of Barrio Boy and do our easy CBM vocabulary. So grab your planners out if you don't have it already. I have mine written in. So summary of Barrio Boy, easy CBM vocab, due Thursday. Nice. Okay, and once you get that written in, we're gonna go to Canvas. And we're gonna go to current modules. And we click on week at a glance overview.
What day is this due again?
Thursday. October 8th is Thursday. Okay. So today would be day 1. We're gonna do our first read of Barrio Boy, do some annotations, and then submit our annotations with our summary format and do our easy CBM vocabulary. Then on day 2, which would be Thursday, we're gonna do a close reading of Barrio Boy, and we're going to answer a writing prompt, and we'll do that we'll start that together, and then you'll do that independently for your synchronous work, as well as completing your easy CBM for reading comprehension. And then on Friday, we have small group sessions. So the first session is from 8:55 to 9:40, and then the second one is from 9:50 to 10:35. And then we have clubs after that. And then I have some extensions for you to look deeper into our new, the character's name is Ernesto Galarza. And so he is an immigrant that travels from Mexico to Sacramento, California. And so I have a link for you to look at where Narrett, Mexico is. That's where he's from. And then to look at the school where he attended that we're going to read about. And then we have some links for you for independent reading too. So like at the bottom of that screen, go ahead and press next. So this week, our learning goal is I can use annotation strategies, which is our question, track, and respond to help me better understand my reading. This week, we will start the first read of Barrio Boy. We will annotate the reading together using an annotation guide, making predictions about new vocabulary, break down complex parts of the text using reading comprehension strategy and annotation to understand what drives, I can't hear you, it's glitchy for me. Okay, let me check, okay. Where was I at? Text reading comprehension strategy and annotation to understand what drives Ernesto to undertake a mission. These tools will help us dig into a further understanding of the text. And so after we read that, we have, there's a section on Study Sync called Sync TV. If we highlighted right here to show you to navigate to Sync TV and watch what the discussion between the students in the video to help you get a good understanding of what we're going to be looking at for our writing prompt on Thursday. And then also on that same page, that's where you submit your annotations that are going to be due by Thursday if we don't finish them together in class. And then below here, we have what's going to be due for our asynchronous work. So our summary of Barrio Boy, we have our easy CBM vocabulary, just reminding you again. And then below there, we have those extensions that I mentioned. So here's that link to look at the Narrett, Mexico, where Ernesto grew up. And then the school where he attended that we're going to read about from his experience. And then here's this independent reading link. So we have the Timberline Regional Library website tour. And then down here, we have Mrs. Matthews' library course. And then it shows you right here, I think this is a link to ebooks. Go ahead and press next. And then at the bottom, so we're going to review our essential question to help us guide our annotations during our first reading. So what is it that drives us to undertake a mission? Is it to pursue a goal regardless of the risk? And is it achieving that goal as important as what we learn on the mission to accomplish it? So thinking about what we did with Rikki Tikki Tavi, and we understood that what his mission was, we're going to be doing the same thing for Ernesto and Barrio Boy. So we're going to be looking at unfamiliar words, parts in the story that might be confusing. We're going to track Ernesto's goal from the we're going to track his goal and also how he changes from the beginning of the story to the end of it. And then also that, like, if he had success or what did he accomplish. We're going to respond. We're going to respond with connections maybe from yourself or from something that it reminds you of, something in history. And then here's another reminder that we're going to need to do 5 annotations and submit that. Okay, so I want you to open up your Study Sync book. You're gonna go to Study Sync over here on the left and click it. And then for me, it's not going to open, but once you get there, can you write or can you type in the chat here so I know that everybody has their study sync open? So right now you should be opening up study sync. Okay, Asher's there. Aisha's there, Boston's there, Yara's there, Isabella's there, Avery, Nathan. All right, it seems like people are getting there. So when you're there, you're gonna see right here, mine says In Pursuit, but you'll see Barrio Boy First Read. I want you to click on that. And I'm going to go, oh wait, wrong one. I'm gonna open mine. So once you have it open, you'll see that there's like 3 tabs. There's the introduction, there's a read, and then there's study sync. Right now, we're gonna focus on the introduction. So Ernesto Galarza was a Mexican-American union leader and writer who spent most of his life fighting for the rights of farm workers in Barrio Boy. Galarza tells the story of how he immigrated to California and successfully navigated the public school system. This excerpt is about Galarza's first experience in an American school. So I'm going to play for you the video, and I want you to listen, and then we'll move into the first read of Barrio Boy.
Jalcocotan, Mexico, the early 20th century. In the midst of the Mexican Revolution, young Ernesto Galarza and his family must give up their farming lifestyle to escape the uncertainties of their war-ridden village. From small towns to cities, and eventually to his first public school in America, Ernesto experiences cultural transition firsthand. Amidst racial tension and the uncertainty of American life, how will Ernesto overcome these hardships and provide for his family? Find out. Read the vivid memoir, Barrio Boy, by Ernesto Galarza.
All right. And so, oops, clicked the wrong one. There you go. So now click on number 2 where it says read, and then make sure that you click the feature split screen mode. So when you do that, you can look at what you need to do, which is questioning, tracking, and responding to the text. And then we could listen to the narrator read and make our annotations on the other side. So while we listen, sorry, it's good to have up the numbers tab on. Okay, I'm gonna press play and we're gonna listen to the narrator for a few, and then I'll come back and I'll make some annotations with you. Deal?
From Part 4, Life in the Lower Part of Town. The 2 of us walked south on 5th Street one morning to the corner of Q Street and turned right. Half of the block was occupied by the Lincoln School. It was a 3-story wooden building with 2 wings that gave it the shape of a double T connected by a central hall. It was a new building, painted yellow with a shingled roof that was not like the red tile of the school in Mazatlan. I noticed other differences, none of them very reassuring. We walked up the wide staircase hand in hand and through the door, which closed by itself. A mechanical contraption screwed to the top shut it behind us quietly. Up to this point, the adventure of enrolling me in the school had been carefully rehearsed. Mrs. Dodson had told us how to find it, and we had circled it several times on our walks. Friends in the barrio explained that the director was called a principal, and that it was a lady and not a man. They assured us that there was always a person at the school who could speak Spanish. Exactly as we had been told, there was a sign on the door in both Spanish and English, Principal. We crossed the hall and entered the office of Miss Nettie Hopley. Miss Hopley was at a roll-top desk to one side. sitting in a swivel chair that moved on wheels. There was a sofa against the opposite wall, flanked by 2 windows and a door that opened on a small balcony. Chairs were set around a table, and framed pictures hung on the walls of a man with long white hair and another with a sad face and a black beard. The principal half turned in the swivel chair to look at us over the pinched glasses crossed on the ridge of her nose. To do this, she had to duck her head slightly, as if she were about to step through a low doorway.
Okay, so I paused it because I wanted to do some annotations with you. So in the first paragraph, I wanted to highlight where it says the 2 of us, because since it's part 4, we don't really know who the 2 is. I can infer that it's Ernesto because we know that the story is about him. So I'm going to do a Q for question. Oh, that's a Z. Then I'm going to say, who is the second person with Ernesto? So as I'm writing, I want you to write 2. I will copy this into the, oh, you got it. So who is the second person with Ernesto? It could be his mom, question mark. Create note. Okay, and then another place that I wanted to stop was at the end of that paragraph where it says, it was a new building, painted yellow with shingled roof that was not like the red tile of the school in Mazatlan. I noticed other differences, none of them very reassuring. So here, I highlighted that because I wanted to track, so I'm going to put a T. I wanted to track that how Ernesto was feeling from the beginning, because that's one of our things that we need to track. So because he was saying none of them were very reassuring, I thought, okay, Ernesto feels not certain of this new school, that he's like scared. Because I'll make a connection too. I know how it feels being new in a different school and not knowing anybody. And then there was another part. Where to go?
Miss Torres, you're going too fast.
Okay. So if you want to see those annotations that I just made, check the chat because Mrs. Hunter is copying and pasting them in the chat for you to copy it, okay? But I'm going to keep going and you just look at that, okay?
Okay.
Cool. And so the next part I wanted to highlight was exactly what we've been told. There was a sign, principal, we crossed the hall and enter. Where'd it go? Sorry, I'm looking for where linked. Oh, okay. So in paragraph 4, we get introduced to somebody named Miss Nettie Hopley. So in the beginning, first paragraph, we wondered who was with Ernesto, but now we're being introduced to a new character. So I was just tracking that we are being introduced to a new character, and I'm wondering in a question, is she important in Ernesto's mission too? So we tracked that we have a new character, and then we asked if she's important in Ernesto's mission. And then we find out in paragraph 5, so we can answer the question 2, that she's the principal. Okay, create note. So now that we made a few annotations together, I'm gonna play the rest of Barrio Boy so you could listen to, and for you to do your own annotations. And then when the audio is finished, I want you to just stay in the Zoom call so we could do the summary of Barrio Boy, a little bit of it together before you guys go and work on your asynchronous work. Okay, so I'm gonna play it.
What Miss Hopley said to us we did not know, but we saw in her eyes a warm welcome, and when she took off her glasses and straightened up, she smiled wholeheartedly, like Mrs. Dodson. We were, of course, saying nothing, only catching the friendliness of her voice and the sparkle in her eyes while she said words we did not understand. She signaled us to the table. Almost tiptoeing across the office, I maneuvered myself to keep my mother between me and the gringo lady. In a matter of seconds, I had to decide whether she was a possible friend or a menace. We sat down. Then Miss Hopley did a formidable thing. She stood up. Had she been standing when we entered, she would have seemed tall. But rising from her chair, she soared. And what she carried up and up with her was a buxom superstructure, firm shoulders, a straight, sharp nose, full cheeks slightly molded by a curved line along the nostrils, thin lips that moved like steel springs, and a high forehead topped by hair gathered in a bun. Miss Hopley was not a giant in body, but when she mobilized it to a standing position, she seemed a match for giants. I decided I liked her. She strode to a door in the far corner of the office, opened it, and called a name. A boy of about 10 years appeared in the doorway. He sat down at one end of the table. He was brown like us, a plump kid with shiny black hair, combed straight back, neat, cool, and faintly obnoxious. Miss Hopley joined us with a large book and some papers in her hand. She too sat down, and the questions and answers began by way of our interpreter. My name was Ernesto. My mother's name was Enriqueta. My birth certificate was in San Blas. Here was my last report card from the Escuela Municipal Número 3 para Varones of Mazatlan, and so forth. Miss Hopley put things down in the book, and my mother signed a card. As long as the questions continued, Doña Enriqueta could stay, and I was secure. Now that they were over, Miss Hopley saw her to the door, dismissed our interpreter, and without further ado took me by the hand and strode down the hall to Miss Ryan's first grade. Miss Ryan took me to a seat at the front of the room, into which I shrank, the better to survey her. She was, to skinny, somewhat runty me, of a withering height when she patrolled the class, and when I least expected it, there she was, crouching by my desk, her blonde, radiant face level with mine, her voice patiently maneuvering me over the awful idiocies of the English language. During the next few weeks, Miss Ryan overcame my fears of tall, energetic teachers as she bent over my desk to help me with a word in the pre-primer. Step by step, she loosened me and my classmates from the safe anchorage of the desks for recitations at the blackboard and consultations at her desk. Frequently, she burst into happy announcements to the whole class. Ito can read a sentence, and small Japanese Ito, squint-eyed and shy, slowly read aloud while the class listened in wonder. Come, Skipper, come and run. The Korean, Portuguese, Italian, and Polish first graders had similar moments of glory, no less shining than mine the day I conquered butterfly, which I had been persistently pronouncing in standard Spanish as butterfly. Children, Miss Ryan called for attention. Ernesto has learned how to pronounce butterfly, and I proved it with a perfect imitation of Miss Ryan. From that celebrated success, I was soon able to match Ito's progress as a sentence reader with, "Come, butterfly, come fly with me." Like Ito and several other first graders who did not know English, I received private lessons from Miss Ryan in the closet, a narrow hall off the classroom with a door at each end. Next to one of these doors, Miss Ryan placed a large chair for herself and a small one for me. Keeping an eye on the class through the open door, she read with me about sheep in the meadow and a frightened chicken going to see the king, coaching me out of my phonetic ruts in words like pasture, bow wow wow, hey, and pretty, which to my Mexican ear and eye had so many unnecessary sounds and letters. She made me watch her lips and then close my eyes as she repeated words I found hard to read. When we came to know each other better, I tried interrupting to tell Miss Ryan how we said it in Spanish. It didn't work. She only said, oh, and went on with pasture, bow wow wow, and pretty. It was as if in that closet we were both discovering together the secrets of the English language and grieving together over the tragedies of Bo Peep. The main reason I was graduated with honors from the first grade was that I had fallen in love with Miss Ryan. Her radiant, no-nonsense character made us either afraid not to love her, or love her so we would not be afraid. I am not sure which. It was not only that we sensed she was with it, but also that she was with us. Like the first grade, the rest of the Lincoln School was a sampling of the lower part of town where many races made their home. My pals in the second grade were Kazushi, whose parents spoke only Japanese, Mati, a skinny Italian boy, and Manuel, a fat Portuguese who would never get into a fight but wrestled you to the ground and just sat on you. Our assortment of nationalities included Koreans, Yugoslavs, Poles, Irish, and homegrown Americans. Miss Hopley and her teachers never let us forget why we were at Lincoln. For those who were alien, to become good Americans. For those who were so born, to accept the rest of us. Off the school grounds we traded the same insults we heard from our elders. On the playground, we were sure to be marched up to the principal's office for calling someone a wop, a chink, a dago, or a greaser. The school was not so much a melting pot as a griddle where Miss Hopley and her helpers warmed knowledge into us and roasted racial hatreds out of us. At Lincoln, making us into Americans did not mean scrubbing away what made us originally foreign. The teachers called us as our parents did, or as close as they could pronounce our names in Spanish or Japanese. No one was ever scolded or punished for speaking in his native tongue on the playground. Matty told the class about his mother's down quilt, which she had made in Italy with the fine feathers of 1,000 geese. Encarnacion acted out how boys learn to fish in the Philippines. I astounded the third grade with the story of my travels on a stagecoach, which nobody in the class had seen except in the museum at Sutter's Fort. After a visit to the Crocker Art Gallery and its collection of heroic paintings of the golden age of California, someone showed a silk scroll with a Chinese painting. Miss Hopley herself had a way of expressing wonder over these matters before a class, her eyes wide open until they popped slightly. It was easy for me to feel that becoming a proud American, as she said we should, did not mean feeling ashamed of being a Mexican.
Okay, so now that he read that, you should have started your 5 annotations. I just wanted to show you that when you're done with your annotations and you're going to submit it, to do that, you need to go to the tab. Oh, wait, not this one. You need to go to the Study Sync tab, and at the bottom, click Submit Assignment. All right, can somebody say yes in the chat that they know how to submit their annotations? Thank you, Jacob. Okay, so now that we did that, I want you to go back to Canvas. I want you to go to current modules and click on Barrio Boy Summary. Once you're there, please type that you're there in the chat. right. Thank you, Richie. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Jenna. Thanks, Kwame. Sailor, good, thank you. Yara, Jacob here. Okay, so I want you to click where it says load Barrio Boy summary in a new window. After that, you should see somebody wanted, but so then. So we have a setup here where we ask the question in the section that says somebody. Who is the main character? And then in the second column here, it shows us a sentence starter of how to respond to that question. And then your response would go in the last column here. So can somebody type in the chat who is the main character of Barrio Boy? Who were we just reading about? Ernesto. Yes, thank you. So right here, you're gonna type in Barrio Boy is about, or you could just copy and paste and then write in your answer is about Ernesto Galarza. And so we're doing this together because you could see my answers. I recommend you copy them. So that's the first one. Wait. Oh wait, I did the wrong one. Haha, sorry. It's about thank you. Oh, that's okay. Yara, for now, if you could try and just follow along, and then later on you could open this up so you kind of know what to do. So in the second row, in the first column, it says wanted. What was the main character doing / wanted? So can anybody type in, we're gonna do the first blank here. Ernesto was blank to a new blank and a different blank. So what was Ernesto doing? What do we know about him? If you could type in the chat from the beginning of the reading, what was Ernesto doing? He was moving to a new school to a different country. Ooh, okay, good job everyone. So we're gonna type that here. Ernesto was moving to a new, and then the second one we find out is school in a different country. The document is empty for me. Oh no. Okay, and since you're copying that, oh wait, close. Control C. And then Control V over here. Okay, and so we'll fill in the first two blanks for but. For the section that says but, what problems did the main character encounter? And then the rest you're gonna fill in on your own. So what problems did the main character encounter? Ernesto was blank to be in a blank school. So how did he feel? Right, he felt scared. Good job, thank you. So Ernesto was scared to be in a, why was he scared? He was scared, okay. Travis, in a new school. Vanessa was scared to be in a new school. And so the rest, or we would write because, you guys are gonna do on your own. You're gonna fill this in and submit it by what day? Can somebody tell me when this is due? Type in the chat when this is due. Thursday, good job. Thank you, Ethan. Okay, and so now I want you to go back to Canvas and click next. And then you'll see that it shows you the directions how to get to the Easy CBM vocabulary assignment that's gonna be due Thursday too. It shows you step by step, literally how to get there, where to click, the button on Symbaloo. But on step 3, I just wanted to remind you, when you're typing in your information, it's gonna ask you for your teacher's name. The name that you're gonna write in there is D. Marshett. So that's Mrs. Hunter's maiden name, not Miss Hunt, not D. Hunter. So if you forget what to write, come back to Canvas, Easy CBM vocab, and it's right here under step 3. And then for step 4, it shows you to go to select your class period. So you guys are gonna click 6th period, your name, and then the one you're gonna do today is the vocabulary 7 fall. And then on day 2, it's gonna be the reading comprehension 7 fall. All right. So, so since we got through all of that, you guys could work on stuff independently until we leave, or you could just go. If you could, before you go though, type in the box what you're gonna be working on for your asynchronous work, and then you could go. So type in the box what you're gonna be working on. There's 3 different things. Barrio Boy summary, yep, good job, Sailor. Bye, Barrio Boy summary, thank you, Jenna. Barrio Boy, Aisha, thank you. Sailor, Kwame, thank you. Yes, annotations too, if you didn't finish that. And don't forget, you submit it on StudySync. Easy CBM, yep. Barrio Boy, thank you guys. Bye, Richie. Barrio Boy, yep, thank you, Travis. Thank you, Ethan. Easy CBM, that too, Ethan. Barrio Boy, thanks, Andrew.
See you next time.
See ya. Bye, Andrew. Bye, boss.
Bye.
All right. See you guys. Bye. Have a good lunch. Bye, Keith. Bye, Ethan. Bye, Talon. Talon or Keith, do you guys know what you're going to be doing for your asynchronous work? You there? All right. I'm going to mute myself. Oh, there went Talon. Oh, there went Keith.